Breaking news, guys. This story is so insane. I got to break it down for you guys because we have breaking news. So for over a week, we've been hearing and seeing this story about the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, getting taken out in broad daylight in Manhattan, right? Well, the guy that they think did it, his name is Luigi Mangione. And let me tell you guys, this is like straight out of a movie, right? But he messed up big time. And I'm going to tell you guys how he screwed up in just a second. But you got to understand how this whole thing all went down, right? So this big shot health insurance CEO was just walking to his hotel in broad daylight, right? Well, it turns out it was like super early in the morning, but still, out of nowhere, this dude comes up. We'll just call him Mario since Luigi is just a suspect right now. So Mario rolls up behind him and he basically takes him out. And then he just kind of like deuces, like he planned the whole thing to a T almost, right? And get this, the dude actually got away. But here's where it gets a little bit crazier. How did they actually even get a picture of Mario? Well, turns out this whole thing started because of a girl. Yeah, just before we get there, let me tell you how Mario actually pulled this off. So Mario hopped on a Greyhound bus from Atlanta to New York, knowing that the CEO is going to be at his annual conference. This is like public information because it's a publicly traded company on the stock market. This happens every year. So Mario's like, all right, cool. I know where you're going to be. So he checks into a hostel, he chills for the night, and then in the morning, he pretty much sees this cute employee at the front desk. And he tries to spit some game to her. He's a smooth talker, I'm sure. She asked him to take off his mask. And dude's like, all right, cool. Check me out, right? Getting the side profiles and whatnot, right? But then Mario snaps back into action mode. He pulls up the CEO's hotel just 5 minutes before the guy arrives. So he knows the CEO is going to be there. He shows up 5 minutes before the CEO gets there. The CEO shows up and Mario lets it go. Boom, boom, boom. And so here's a twist, guys. The shell casings that were left behind have the exact words delay and deny on them. Now you got to ask why. Why is this engraved on these shells, right? Because this is exactly what health insurance companies do. They delay paying for your treatment, hoping that you're going to give up or maybe even die before actually getting the financial support from the insurance company. And if that doesn't work, then they just straight up deny your claims. So you need new glasses. You might not get them. And this is why people hate insurance companies. Has anybody ever been denied like health insurance coverage or anything like that? I have been denied numerous times. Anyway, whole nother story for that. After the hit, Mario hops on a bike. I think it was like an e-bike or something like that. He zooms off. He zigzags through Central Park. Massive park. We actually walked through Central Park a couple days ago. Huge. Anyway, probably changes his clothes, and then all of a sudden he's gone. And it's a huge park. There's hundreds, if not thousands of people in Central Park. Central Park's like 800 acres. Good luck finding them, right? So now the cops are straight up losing their minds. They can't let Mario get away with this because basically, let's face it, everybody hates insurance companies. Nobody wants to pay these overpriced premiums, co-pays. It's confusing. Nobody even really understands insurance and how it works. And at the end of the day, a lot of times people feel like they're getting screwed by insurance companies. And a lot of people feel like they make insurance complicated for a reason. Anyway, if this guy escapes, people might start thinking, hey, maybe I'll handle things for myself too. So it would set a very dangerous precedent. So they can't have that, right? Plus the cops, they look like idiots for letting this happen in the middle of the day anyway, right? Especially under Mayor Eric Adams. It makes that guy look bad. He'll be up for a re-election here shortly. So basically they throw up a $10,000 reward for a company that made $100 billion in like 90 days, 3 months, a quarter, right? So they don't really care about the CEO, but they got to act like they do, right? And when UnitedHealthcare posted the RIP to our CEO message, people just pretty much laughed and zero sympathy. Now, I got to say, I definitely feel for the families, and the people who are left behind because, here's the bottom line, though. Mario felt the only way to fight back was to kind of take out the system's face. Going to court, waste of time, probably going to lose, right? And yeah, so maybe the CEO was just doing his job. But this is unfortunately how the world works. So now Mario's on the run, or I should say Mario was on the run until today. So Luigi, the guy that they've apprehended, has actually been charged with second-degree murder and a whole bunch of gun-related charges in New York.
Surrounding the shooter.
And we start with the Fox News alert. You've been seeing this video for over a week. The suspect in the murder of the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, has now been officially charged.
Brooke Singman breaks it down for us for all we know, and we know a lot. Brooke.
Yeah, we do, guys. Good morning. So the suspected killer remains behind bars in Pennsylvania this morning. Luigi Mangione on your left here is now charged in the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson 6 days ago in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect now faces several charges. So in New York, he's been charged with second-degree murder along with 3 other gun-related charges.
When they arrested him, he had a gun believed to be the gun used that was used in the shooting. Clothes, he had a mask, even some anti-corporate writings. So yeah, this dude was not a fan of big businesses, especially healthcare companies. But the authorities are like, nope, he's not a hero. They're praising the McDonald's tipster instead for getting Luigi off the streets. But anyway.
And in Pennsylvania, he faces 5 more charges, including forgery, carrying a gun without a license, and lying about his identity to officers. His arrest came after a tip from a McDonald's more than 230 miles from Manhattan in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Authorities say the 26-year-old was carrying a gun believed to be the one used to shoot Thompson. Local officials hailing the employee who made the call to authorities as a hero. Listen.
In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911 at McDonald's this morning.
Family in Maryland. This is not some broke dude. His grandparents owned country clubs, guys. Country clubs are for ballers, basically. You got healthcare facilities that they also own. And of course, they also own real estate. So dude went to Gilman School in Baltimore, a prestigious all-boys school, and his family is just totally shocked.
Mangione also had clothing and a mask similar to those worn by the shooter when police arrested him Monday, as well as writings suggesting ill will toward corporate America. New York City Mayor Eric Adams speaking to the arresting officer yesterday.
Hey, Tyler.
I guess we found your guy.
Yes, we as New Yorkers, we appreciate it. And you just did a great job, heads up policing. You took a dangerous person off the street. We thank you so much.
It was great to do.
More than happy to do it. I can't say I was expecting it waking up this morning.
Meanwhile, a former roommate of Mangione says he can't believe Luigi is the man suspected of pulling off this heinous crime. Watch this.
Unfathomable, knowing the kind, person that I saw and knew. I remember he said he had a back issue and he was hoping to get stronger in Hawaii. It also weighed on him that he knew that there was an impending surgery.
Several questions still remain surrounding the shooter's motive as police in both states continue to investigate the case. Ainsley, over to you.
It's so strange, Brooke. On his X account, there's a picture of an X-ray. We don't know if that's his surgery, but it has some hardware in this person's back. So apparently in chronic back pain constantly, according to residents that he lived with in Hawaii. But we'll get to that. Thank you so much, Brooke. Great job. All right, who is this guy? He's from a prominent Italian-American family in Maryland. His grandparents started a few country clubs. They also own some healthcare facilities and real estate companies. And according to friends in Hawaii, he wanted to distance himself from this wealthy life. His family on social media said that they were shocked. They were devastated. Now, then his school, he went to the Gilman School, which is in Baltimore. Now, that is a very prominent school. It's all boys. He was there from 6th grade until graduation. He graduated in 2016.
They're devastated. Luigi apparently wanted nothing to do with that rich kid life, but nobody expected him to go off like this. So, yeah, I mean, the story is still unfolding. 2 states are like knee deep into this investigation, and we're left with a whole lot of questions. But one thing is for sure, this case is straight up crazy.
Essentially, what we see in that video is the CEO, UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson, walking toward the hotel here behind me, and behind him comes the suspected gunman.
And as a matter of fact, this literally took place just a couple of blocks away from Trump Tower in New York City, literally just a couple of blocks away. Absolutely insane after the president-elect has seized the win. Hell, even Trump is probably looking over his shoulder right now because this just screams vulnerability. Imagine this, a high-level executive gunned down right outside the Hilton Hotel in Manhattan, and now there's this massive manhunt underway. I mean, like, are you kidding me? And wait, it gets even crazier. This guy managed to somehow slip out of New York, apparently left by a bus, a NYC bus, with cops finding his backpack dumped in Central Park. What's going on here, guys? And while we're at it, let's not forget that this is the same UnitedHealthcare that's notorious for coverage denial. Has anybody gotten their coverage denied from UnitedHealthcare? Comment down below. Yeah, I mean, you might think that this might be a clue. A grievance taken to the absolute extreme, perhaps. And we're talking about a country where high-profile figures, anywhere from CEOs to the president-elect Trump, are literally walking targets. It's scary. The Secret Service better wake up, because if they can't stop these assassinations and threats, like, what hope do we have left? This isn't just some random crime. This is an announcement. This is a threatening announcement, guys. I mean, we're living in times where the line between order and chaos in Manhattan or Minnesota, it's paper thin. The fact that this hit was so freaking cold, so calculated, right under everybody's nose. I mean, and with Trump just surviving 2 assassination attempts of his own, I gotta ask, what the hell is going on with the Secret Service? I mean, the streets of New York are turning into war zones while liberal mainstream media yawns and moves on. And we got breaking news every hour, guys, but no real answers. I mean, is this a high-level executive who's just not safe, or is there more to this? We got the video, you guys. UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down outside of a luxury Midtown hotel in what police described as a brazen, targeted attack by a chillingly methodical who used a firearm with a silencer. Now, we do have the video, so check this out.
Essentially, what we see in that video is the CEO, UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson, walking toward the hotel here behind me, and behind him comes the suspected gunman that police are still searching for. So you could see how he approaches Thompson from the back. Before then, where we freeze the video, he fires those shots at Thompson. What you do not see from these 5 seconds, and I can tell you, is that we also see someone sort of running the opposite direction. So that is something, of course, that police are going to be looking into in this video, breaking it down frame by frame by frame to kind of figure out who might have witnessed this. They, of course, are going to want to talk to anyone who might have witnessed this. Again, it happened at the really front step of this entrance of this hotel, so there's possible some security there as well. And then, of course, follow the path of that gunman. As we already have learned, he flees from the scene, going down a back alley behind a theater that's across the street from the hotel where we are, and then hops on a bike where they basically lose his trail in Central Park. So again, we know that police are offering a $10,000 reward for any information that's going to help find this suspected gunman, but that manhunt is underway after this brazen shooting in Midtown Manhattan, guys.
Now, that was some very serious footage of this shooting. Now, my first reaction was about the $10,000. We're talking about the unaliving of a CEO of a $562 billion company here, and the best thing that they could come up with was $10,000. Yeah, kind of makes you wonder if they really wanted to find out who actually did this in the first place. But hey, you know, that's just me spitballing here, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. But according to the former DC homicide detective Ted Williams, Thompson's killer knew exactly what he was doing.
This is obviously a day for his family. He has 2 young children, and his wife had said this, Ted, earlier today. She said, quote, "There had been some threats." She said, "I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him. I can't really give a thoughtful response right now. I just found this out, and I'm trying to console my children." I mean, this poor woman had to have been in shock, but that is a significant piece of information to begin with here, Ted.
Yes, it is, Martha, and I got to tell you, what a...
So here we are, guys. We're in the middle of New York City. We are literally at the Avenue of America's 6th Avenue and West 53rd Street, right here in New York City. This right here, if you look, babe, come over this way. If you look over this way, this is actually the Hilton Hotel You can see the Hilton sign there. This is the Hilton Hotel, and we are right literally on the same property where just a few hours ago, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare was taken out. It's absolutely crazy. And what's wild is that they have apparently removed the entire crime scene. Like, not removed the entire crime scene, but the crime scene is no longer blocked anymore, which is crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk around the corner to where the altercation went down. And so what we have here is right down the street. This is the Hilton Hotel exit where the assassin, after taking out the UnitedHealthcare CEO, right this way. And we have seen video, but it seems like they've taken the videos down. You see independent journalists showing the actual footage of what went down just here the other day. And you can't see it anymore on a lot of sites. You actually have to dig it up. You can probably find it on X. You can probably find it on Twitter now. But it's wild how they've like completely cleaned this thing up. And look, if you see, you'll remember this was the loading sign that was in a lot of the videos that we saw where the assassin made his way outside of the Hilton Hotel after taking out the UnitedHealthcare CEO. It is absolutely crazy. In fact, we had seen a clear increase in police presence in and around hotels in the vicinity of here. Absolutely crazy, you guys. Did it say recording on the bottom? Okay. And we also got a little bit of a timeline, and more data, more information is coming out. It indicated that the assassin decided to fuel up, and I don't know if he ordered a macchiato, a tall, a short, whatever the case is, but evidently he went to Starbucks. And I don't know if it's the Starbucks right here across the street or if it was a Starbucks further down, but apparently the assassin, he jumped on an e-bike and made his way away from here very quickly. In addition to that, he made his way into Central Park, and he went to Central Park because we believe he went to Central Park because of obscurity. Not a whole lot of cameras over there, and you can quickly vanish into the night.
But everyone is saying that it was targeted, and I am echoing the same thing. When you see the gunman, there's a lot that you learn about this gunman. First of all, you can see that he is right-handed, that he does use his left hand to support that gun. He knows what he's doing. You can tell that he's proficient in using that weapon. You can see, and I've heard that after he shot Thompson here, the gun jammed. He was able to clear that jam and continue to shoot that gun. And at some stage or another, as you know, he ran away, got on one of the e-bikes, got into Central Park, and they haven't seen him since.
Hey, the motive is anybody's guess at this point. You know, a lot of people are placing their bets that this guy's wife, maybe mother, daughter, was denied life-saving care from the UHC. Even former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker talked about it possibly being a pre-planned motive in the unaliving. Here, watch this.
A few of the things that I noted, to me as an investigator, the number one thing is that they were able to recover a cell phone. A cell phone is a treasure trove of information as far as the text messages, who they were communicating with, who their contacts were, who they were calling, locating where that phone was leading up to this incident. You know, this is not a random attack. I can tell you this is more of like an assassination attempt. There was a pre-planned motive definitely here. I don't know who the individual was. Was this a hitman? Was this someone who was disgruntled? But there is no coincidence here. This is a high-level executive in a very prestigious setting of New York City. And the individual, the CEO or the executive who was killed, he came from Minnesota. Who had access to his schedule? How many people knew where he was going to be? Was this conference online? Was it advertised? Was it on the internet? Who knew all of this information? Had he had an issue with someone, a disgruntled employee, a grievance, a personal relationship issue? All of this is going to be delved through by law enforcement, both in Minnesota and in New York with the NYPD. So it's going to be a joint investigation because they are going to want to understand what is his history. Obviously, they're looking into his social media accounts, interviewing loved ones, family members, employees. But this is a all hands on deck issue.
Now, honestly, guys, I don't know if this is just me thinking this, but if they could just like get to a CEO just like that, I'm kind of worried if our president-elect is truly safe in the hands of a disgraced Secret Service agency. You know what I mean? Too many people forget that it was just a couple of months ago that the president-elect suffered through not just one, but 2 assassination attempts, both while like supposedly being under Secret Service protection. I mean, the video is still up for everybody to see.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened. Oh, let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes. Got you, sir. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir.
We've seriously forgotten about this. Now, if we put that together with this UnitedHealthcare CEO unaliving, people just don't realize how insane our country has gotten. Just think about it. The fact that, you know, such a high-profile CEO was repeatedly shot by a masked gunman who had been lying in wait the whole time. Now, according to NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch, many people passed the suspect, but he appeared to wait for his intended target. I mean, crazy, right? Now, I wasn't sure if YouTube was going to allow me to show the whole thing, but if you do a little bit of digging on Google, I'm sure you're going to be able to find it. It showed the gunman calmly firing multiple shots into Mr. Thompson at about 6:46 a.m. Thompson stumbled after the first bullet struck, briefly turning to face the gunman, who coolly pulled back the weapon slide with each shot. He helplessly tried to crawl away as the shooter unleashed a barrage of bullets. And like you guys heard from the homicide detective earlier, it appeared that the shooter not only used a silencer, but was proficient enough with the gun to smoothly clear it after a jam to continue firing. I mean, he was even able to buy a bottle of water and like 2 power bars inside the Starbucks just minutes before the shooting. Guess he had to fuel up before the big day. But here's the whole chain of events on the map if you guys are interested. So the shooter first ran off through the Zegfield alleyway between 54th and 55th Streets, then hopped onto an e-bike, a ride captured in another surveillance photo. The gunman pedaled up the Avenue of Americas toward Central Park and was last seen around 6:48 a.m. biking into Central Drive. And there were plenty of witnesses too, especially as the crime happened in the heart of Manhattan, one of the most heavily trafficked places on the planet, just hours before and blocks away from thousands of sightseers who lined up to watch the Rockefeller Christmas tree lighting. Unbelievable how close that was. He even knew to head into Central Park, where surveillance camera coverage is spotty. Cops recovered 3 live 9mm rounds and 3 discharged shell casings at the scene. But more importantly, there's the cell phone. It was found in an alleyway near the Hilton, and authorities strongly believe that it belongs to the gunman. Investigators hope that they can pull fingerprints off the unspent ammunition as well as DNA from the water bottle and maybe the phone. They're also combing through the device right now, but the motive behind the hit is still unknown. Now, according to NY Police Chief of Detectives Joe Kinney, a personal or professional grudge has not been ruled out, and law enforcement sources said that Thompson had received threats. Chief Kinney confirmed that based on the evidence that they have so far, it does appear that the victim was specifically targeted. Now, this does not appear to be a random act of violence. Yeah, no kidding, Chief. We're talking about a CEO who's racking in a salary of about $9.9 million a year to head the nation's largest private health insurer. Not to mention UnitedHealthcare has a history of controversially rejecting claims and recently faced a Department of Justice antitrust investigation. And I don't think it was a coincidence that the shooting took place just a little bit more than an hour before UnitedHealthcare Investors Conference was scheduled to begin at the Hilton. The UnitedHealthcare Group, which employs more than 100,000 people across America, is ranked 4th in Fortune 500. In fact, Thompson himself had been the subject of a Department of Justice antitrust probe. Prominent pension funds in California later filed a federal lawsuit against Thompson and other UnitedHealthcare executives, accusing them of offloading $117 million in company stock just before the DOJ probe became public. Basically, Thompson had reaped $15.1 million by dumping the stock, according to the lawsuit. And UnitedHealthcare has developed a reputation for rejecting claims. Apparently, they used an AI model with a 90% error rate to deny healthcare coverage. Who wouldn't be mad, right? How many people may have actually passed away as a result of these AI errors and not getting the coverage and financial backing that they needed to get the healthcare that they needed? The suspect was described as a white male wearing a dark jacket, black face mask, and white and black sneakers. Officials said that he was carrying a distinctive gray backpack. And again, guys, 10 grand for anybody who can give information on this guy. But let me know your thoughts on this one, guys. Do you think that this had something to do with the company or maybe Thompson himself? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments down below. We'll definitely keep you guys posted on future developments. Just make sure you do subscribe to the channel, tap that notification bell. We're literally just about halfway through this one, so don't go anywhere, guys. In fact, we're literally continuing our discussion right now. Now, one perspective I couldn't help thinking about all of this are the recent very real assassination attempts on President-elect Trump. I mean, the man had to endure 2 confirmed attempts on his life, let alone countless unconfirmed ones, and that was before he officially became the president-elect of our country. Can you imagine like just how much danger Trump is in right now? Even Russian President Vladimir Putin recently said that he did not believe Trump was safe after the attempts on his life. Of course, we all know Trump was wounded in an assassination attempt in Pennsylvania in July. Then in a separate incident in September, a man was charged with attempted assassination after allegedly positioning himself with a rifle at one of Trump's Florida golf courses. Putin asked about it recently, with reporters saying that these were obviously uncivilized methods used to battle against Trump, up to and including an assassination attempt, and more than once. And in his opinion, the president-elect is not safe now, especially as in the history of the United States, various incidents have happened. Putin did add, though, that he thinks Trump is intelligent and that he hopes he's cautious and he understands this. And this next one, not a lot of media outlets have been picking up. The feds arrested an Arizona man who allegedly threatened to put a hole in President-elect Donald Trump's face after months of posting deranged videos in which he threatened to gun down the first family while brandishing a rifle. Remember the name, guys. Manuel Tamayo Torres. Charging documents from the arrest, Tamayo Torres threats vague yet direct and accused the Arizona resident of posting numerous videos on a nearly daily basis over several months. It was pretty disturbing stuff, to say the least, guys. Tamayo Torres claimed that Trump did a couple of things, though they're not even sure whether Tamayo Torres even has kids. He said in the video that Trump was going to die, his son's going to die, his whole family is going to die, and that Manuel Torres was going to put a hole in his face. Now, what was really scary is that he had the equipment to back it up. Federal authorities mentioned that he appeared to have a white AR-15 style rifle with a 30-round magazine inserted into it with several of the videos. While investigating the alleged threats, a Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosive Task Force officer said they actually found photos on Facebook showing Tamayo Torres holding a bull pop-up style shotgun, a rifle, an AR style rifle was actually seen in the videos. In one video from August 23rd, Tamayo Torres appeared to be filming himself from a Trump rally at the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona, and he said that he had watched the former president and Secret Service agents kidnap his daughter to sell her into prostitution. Tamayo Torres was arrested in California after he posted a video from his vehicle saying that he was in San Diego. The charges against him were filed in Arizona, officials said. Tamayo Torres posted on a near daily basis about Trump and his family. And in addition to the charges threatening the president, authorities charged him with making false statements while purchasing a firearm after he allegedly lied on federal forums last year. He said on the forum that he had no felony history, when in fact he was convicted of assault in 2003. Oh, and by the way, he also claimed in the video that the Secret Service, FBI, CIA, and the military are all defenseless. Now, that part I kind of actually sort of believe, considering how vulnerable President-elect Trump has been during this whole time. And with the UnitedHealthcare CEO shooting happening like so casually like this, I just say that we all have to be very vigilant and we have to keep an eye out for all these different threats against President-elect. But what do you guys say? Are you guys with me? Drop a quick yes in the comments down below. Hit the like button to show your support. And while you guys are at it, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Have your notifications turned on so you do not miss out on our next updates. Check out our other videos for more hard-hitting analysis like this one. Now, I highly recommend our recent video where we got into some newly covered evidence of liberal mainstream media corruption, guys. And yes, we've got the footage to prove it. Definitely a must watch for this one. So definitely check that video out. As always, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for hitting the like button for the video. Check out this video coming up here next or our playlist down below, and we'll see you guys on the next one.